Special time here on Smoking with the Blend, hanging out with the boss, the guy who runs this place. We're at Davidoff of Geneva, inside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, inside the Guitar Hotel. Partner, Eric Douglas. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for opening up the doors. This is an unbelievable place you got here.
Thank you. Very proud of it. Very proud of it. It's been doing really well. I mean, honestly, COVID was a little bit of a kick.
Sure.
But since we reopened and the Hard Rock, you know, they kind of instituted that safe and sound guidelines for making sure that everyone's safe here at the casino, we've been kicking butt, man. It's been great. It's really been great. We're grateful.
We're gonna get into this absolute shrine to cigar and drink and spirits in a little bit, but I want to get talking about you because a long time ago, someone told me something that always stuck to me. If you want to be successful, you talk to successful people. And you, my friend, very humble. You know, you have got a myriad of businesses, nightclubs, restaurants, insurance. What is your sort of mechanism? What when you see a business, when you see something, what drives you to keep doing this? Because with all this success that you've had going on.
Yeah, well, thank you. No, thanks for that. You know, for me, it's really, it's the art of building something from nothing that then you later see people enjoy. You know, I mean, that's really what it's for me at the end of the day. I mean, for some people, it's how can I generate the biggest bottom line? How can I, you know, make myself a little bit more well-known? For me, it's how do you really build something and really truly create something that people talk about, people bring their friends to, their family to, you know, whether it's one of our bars, whether it's one of our restaurants or even the cigar lounge. I mean, it's such a satisfying feeling for me to build a place where I know that people are either building friendships, maintaining friendships. I mean, that's really where I see the joy. And that's what drives me, honestly.
So you're a little kid out in Long Island.
That's right.
When did it click? When did it click for you that this is what you wanted to do?
You know, where I grew up, and it's kind of humble beginnings, but I grew up on a pretty poor Indian reservation in New York. And the location of it was a really interesting place.
Shinnecock Indian Reservation.
Shinnecock. Yeah, Shinnecock. So if you're a golfer, then you would know what Shinnecock is. So Shinnecock's probably one of the most difficult golf courses in the world. Always ranked around number 5 in terms of, you know, the challenge of it in the world. And so, and the U.S. Opens have been there several times. But that was named after my tribe. Just a quarter, that golf course is just a quarter mile from my reservation.
Wow.
But growing up there, okay, in a pretty poor, I mean, most reservations for the most part, unless tribes are gaming, are pretty poor. They're dealing with pretty rough conditions. But growing up there, just outside of the reservation, is the world famous Hamptons, right? So for me, leaving from the reservation, living in our 2 and 3 generation home, it's pretty typical for families to live 2 or 3 generations under one roof. Leaving that and going to my school, you know, my middle school or my high school, wherever I was attending school, I would pass $10 million, $20 million summer homes.
Summer homes.
So the attitude could be either, wow, we have it rough and it's just the way it's always going to be, or I can take part in trying to change that destiny. You know, not only for myself and my family, but for my tribal people. So that's really where it started for me. That's where it clicked and said, hey, it's not just about the reservation. There's just so much more. There's so much more. So I wanted to spread my wings. I wanted to get a taste of the business world. You know, the first thing for us, my siblings and our parents were really big on education. College is just an extension of high school. Okay? It's not taking a break. It's not traveling overseas, seeing what you want to do. You're after 12th grade, you're going to be a freshman in college. All right?
That's it.
Maybe you get part of the summer off to relax, but
that's it.
You're going straight to school. And that's what I did. And that even opened up my horizons a little bit more because like you said, you know, you surround yourself with people that you want to be like or people that you want to be a little bit, I wouldn't say better than, but you want to excel maybe faster than they do. And that's what I did in college. I did the same thing. And it just so happened that me being a Native American from New York became really good friends with a Seminole from Florida. The only 2 Native American kids in 10,000 undergrads.
No kidding.
Yeah. We weren't even in the same class. We met in Spanish class. We weren't even in the same grade.
So how did that happen? I mean, you obviously had that thing in common.
Yeah, we had the Native American culture in common.
So there's that's a bit of an attraction there. But then how did that develop into what you got going on now?
I mean, honestly, it was just one step at a time. I mean, we became really good friends. And then after we graduated from college, I stayed in DC. I did some consulting work with a business consulting firm. And he gives me a call and he says, hey, you know, my tribe is working on this Hard Rock deal. And I said, well, what does that mean? They're going to build a restaurant? He goes, no, they're going to build a casino in Florida. And I said, wow, well, that sounds pretty amazing. He goes, well, you know, we should do something together. My tribe is very supportive of native entrepreneurs, and, you know, we should figure this out. It just so happened that when I was in college, I was a nightclub promoter. That was kind of my social activity. That's kind of how I did all my extracurricular spending. So I said, are there any nightclubs? He goes, yeah, there are going to be a few. I said, well, I think that might be something I think that's a deal we could put together. So long story short, we ended up putting a business plan together. We raised all the money on Wall Street.
No kid.
Private equity. Yeah. Raised all, I mean, I didn't come from anything. You know, I barely had $1 to my name. But raised the money on Wall Street. Wall Street loved the deal. The particular bank that we went to loved the deal. And we raised, I think, in like 90 days, we got probably $4 million. This was in 2003.
So you strike me as you walk in a room, you say, I'm going to need some money. I'm just a kid from Long Island, from an Indian reservation. I'm going to need all this money because I'm going to build a club in Florida.
Yeah.
And you got it done.
And we got it done. I mean, you know, not for nothing. It was a very attractive deal. I mean, they raised the money using bonds. Wall Street was well aware that there was a casino going down to Florida. They didn't know the intricacies of it because it was kind of the first time that something like this had been done, but they just knew that the demographics were there. So the bank understood. They looked at the business plan, essentially, that Hard Rock had, and they said, this makes sense. This makes sense for us to get involved in this project.
So the nightclub takes off.
Nightclub takes off.
Well, that leads into restaurants. Fair.
Leads to a car wash next.
Leads a car wash.
So leads to a car wash next. So I have a really bad habit. I don't know if it's a bad habit or a good habit of looking for niches, like things that just make sense, right, within the business community, places where there's voids, and I saw that, you know, there were all these cars coming into the Hard Rock, and I said, wow, a lot of them were just dirty. I said, I wonder how this deal could potentially take place. You know, people come into the casino, they gamble for 2 or 3 hours. It'd be nice to walk out to a nice, clean car.
Right.
So pitched the idea to Hard Rock. They loved it. We put the deal together. We found some partners that were in the business, and we put that deal together. And we had that car wash, I think, from about 2007 to about 2011. The casino needed the parking spaces, so we ended up exiting that deal, but pretty interesting. It was actually pretty fun.
Did you get out there and
of course I did. You got to know everything. You got to know as much as you can about the business, right?
You got to, right?
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things we learned.
I know it's so weird. I know so many people that worked in a car wash or had some sort of a car wash connection. It's almost like it's the cradle of entrepreneurship is the car wash. It's unbelievable.
It is. It's kind of a necessary thing. I mean, it's especially in Florida, right? Because everyone's really into their cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your auto purchase is a big deal in Florida, you know? So obviously, if you invest that kind of money in a car, especially some of these more high-end cars, you want it clean all the time.
Amazing.
It's a great business.